Good morning, YouTubers. It is Monday, May 26th, 2025. And I've been wanting to shoot this video for a couple of days. We went to Tesla Charger last week because we received our free NACS to CCS adapter from Hyundai for our Ioniq 5. And so we were open to go ahead and use the Tesla network to charge our car, to fast charge it. And of course, we wanted to test it out. So, and we happen to have a Tesla charging station in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And oddly enough, there's hardly any other DC fast charging in Las Cruces. We charge at home all the time, so it's not a big issue. But for the traveling public, it's if you don't own a Tesla, it's a little difficult to charge. Let's say you were going from El Paso, where there is DC fast charging, to Albuquerque. Well, you'd have to make it all the way from El Paso up to Socorro before you ran into DC fast charging for CCS. There is a Tesla charger in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, which is a bit closer. So it would be a lot easier to travel in a Tesla from that route going north than it would in a car that was CCS based. Of course, we live in Las Cruces, which is a bit closer. It's another 60 miles from Las Cruces down to El Paso. So anyway, it worked. Well, long story short, I had a bit of trouble hooking up first time. It started charging and it just quit. And what it wanted was an authentication, because it's the first time we'd used the network. We'd already set up the payment and stuff like that, but it wanted to authenticate who we were, making sure that it wasn't somebody else using my card somehow. And so it was sending us codes, and we had to enter the code and all this stuff. I don't think we're going to have to do that anymore, at least not on a regular basis. Anyway, so there was some hiccups there, but we got it done, and there happens to be a little bistro there at the Tesla charging network. So just for grins, I went in and had a coffee and a cookie. And we waited, and we just charged to 80%. We were only down to like, I don't know, 50, 60%. So it didn't take us that long. But it was a good experience, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the actual charge was 45 cents a kilowatt hour. And it turns out that the Electrify America average charge is 52 or 56 cents a kilowatt hour. So there's a bit of savings there. We don't have to pay for electricity at Electrify America right now because our car came with 2 free years of charging. However, we only use it for trips, and it's going to run out. The 2 years will be up next March. So we only got several months left on it. Fact is, we're planning a trip back east to northern Oklahoma and Missouri in February just to go ahead and use these free minutes on this trip, which might save us all nearly $300 if we do it. But I definitely would use the Tesla network simply because it's cheaper than EA or Francis Energy. Of course, I'll use whatever I need to use. If I need to charge, and there's only a Francis Energy or an Electrify America charger, within a reasonable distance on my route that's convenient, I'll use it. But and I've talked about this a lot in the past, that there's a definite need for destination charging. If you stay at a motel and it has destination charging, you not only save one charge cycle at the high prices of DC fast charging. Much cheaper to charge at a level 2 charger. And you not only save that cost, but you also save time, because you don't need to charge on the road. If you arrange it so your last charge, let's say, is 100 and some miles from your motel, your final destination, and then boom, you get there, you check in and all that, do whatever it is you have to do, and then you charge overnight. Back to 100% if you want. That's the way to go. Because DC fast charging, quite frankly, is more expensive than gasoline. Even if you factor in the fact that the car cost is getting 3 to 4 times its energy efficiency. In other words, it's using 1/3 to 1/4 the energy per mile. Well, you're still paying $18 a gallon. So you divide 3 or 4 into that, you still come up with a higher price than gasoline. So definitely having a destination charger is very important. Leaving your house at 100% and charging at destinations at a cheaper rate is a really important thing to do on a trip, I think. So anyway, the other thing I was pleasantly surprised about, I just thought, well, it'll just testing this out. But it dawned on me after I did it. Not only is it easier to use, I didn't have all the connectivity problems I keep having at Electrify America, where I have to call the service center to get the damn machines to work. But I also, it just dawned on me that I've literally doubled the amount of charging stations that are available to me now. And so thank you very much, Tesla, and thank you very much, Hyundai, for this. And when I found out that the rates were cheaper, it was a definite plus for me. So this really is a very impactful thing. It's going to mean more utility for my electric vehicle and less difficulties in traveling than I've had up to now. So, but I'm willing to put up with it, because using an electric vehicle is a very important thing to do. Electricity doesn't, when you're driving, you're not creating air pollution. Locally, they're quieter, they're high performance vehicles. So you're helping to address global warming. You're using a lot less energy. And this is one of the things I think people don't understand generally, is that if we electrify everything and we go to renewables, we're using a lot less energy. People keep thinking that if we electrify everything, let's say we electrify all the cars, that we're going to need to use the same amount of energy that gas cars use. For some reason, that's their metric. And they know that there's an incredible amount of energy is being used to propel gas cars down the road. And I go, well, the electric grid won't be able to take this, or we won't be able to produce enough renewable energy. Well, this is totally false, because you're using 1/3 to 1/4 the amount of energy. And so I don't know how this metric slips through the cracks. People just aren't getting it. It's kind of crazy, but recently our next electrification scheme is going to be an electric grill, because I'm tired of using propane. I don't want to produce CO2 when I can avoid it to the atmosphere, because quite frankly, this global warming problem and the amount of CO2 that we've jumped up into the atmosphere is going to kill us all if we keep doing it. We've got to stop. That's my opinion. And I have, it's not just an opinion, there's a lot of evidence out there that this is so. So, but I like it. I like being able to. I fuel up at home. I charge my car in my garage for, Jesus, I'm $1.75 a gallon for a car that gets 120 miles per gallon. It's a win-win, and I like the quietness. Now, recently I've been looking into new tires for my car because OEM tires don't last as long as a better set of cars that you can buy after you've worn out the OEM tires. I'm looking at Hancocks. They're a bit expensive, but we're probably not going to buy them till late this fall. So and I don't need to buy them right now. I'm just thinking about it. And the Hancocks electric vehicle tires seem to be the best ones that I've been able to find out there. I've been trying to find some that's good but cheaper, and I just keep coming up short. For some reason, there's companies out there like Salem or Falcon and others that make electric car tires, but they don't make them in the right size for my Ioniq 5. I don't understand that. If you're going to make an electric car tire, make them in sizes that electric cars come in. Well, I skip one. But that's what I run into more than once. So that's why I keep sticking with that. But I think that's an important thing to do. You may spend a little bit more, but you want tread life. You don't want to be replacing your tires every 30,000, 40,000 miles. If I can get 50,000 out of them, that'd be a lot better. And you want a quiet ride, and you want low rolling resistance, and you want good grip and braking distance and all that wet performance. I don't have to worry about snow around here. If we get snow once a year and it stays on the highway for a matter of hours, that's it, it's gone. So I'm not too worried about that. So anyway, you all take care. I finally cranked this video out. Didn't have time. I wrote a blog on it, which is on our electric vehicle organization page on Facebook, so you can check that blog out there. I didn't have time to get it printed out so that I could have some of the data that I was going to throw at you, but I'm not sure that's even necessary. So, see you around the corner, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.